So today I'll be testing this small, I would say small lens, which is 18 to 55. Many people call it as a kit lens, and I honestly don't really believe it's a kit lens, because this lens you might find like it is for sale with XT Pro or something like that. So basically those cameras kind of like targeted for professional use, those X Pro kind of body. I would say you might find that particular body X Pro is supplied with a lens like this. Some call it kit lens, but it's not really kit in the sense of, you know, those cheap kit lens. It is more like a kit lens, which is like if you would buy 5D Mark III or 4 of Canon, and it is supplied with, let's say, 24 to 75 f4, or you might see like 24 to 105 f4, which is like both of them have a red ring, which is considered as a professional lens. So it is a kit lens, but it's kind of a professional kit lens. So I would say this lens, since it is for sale, you might find with X Pro bodies, I wouldn't say this is a real kit lens, which is like those cheap plastic lenses which people mean by kit lens. So it is just a zoom lens to me. And another thing what I found it's interesting, this lens has LM liner motor. That LM motor, it's a very silent motor. It's normally only made for expensive Fuji lenses. So if you see like most of those expensive or like red, what they call it, red tag lenses, red sticker or red badge lenses, they usually have like liner motor, LM. So if it says LM, it just tells me it's not really a cheaper line kind of lenses. Well, honestly, 2.8, that would be another sign it's not really a kit lens. Kit lens usually don't come with 2.8 unless it's like for professional use kind of kit lens. So like if Canon has kit lens 2.8, most likely expect a red ring and the price would be to the roof. So this lens is not cheap too, but for some reason they didn't make constant 2.8, but it does not mean anything bad. Sometimes to control distortion is very hard to control distortion, and to make constant 2.8, the price increase sometimes doesn't really make sense. I would say to price it super high, to make it constant to the point it becomes too expensive, and that constant is not always constant. In the past I've seen old lenses, those old lenses that come like 35 to 70, no, I think it was 35 to 75 or 35 to 70, those old zoom lenses. Many claim it was constant like 3.5 or 3.3, but when it was measured it was not really the same. So even if it says on the lens the same, it does not mean it's the same. So even if Fuji say 2.8 and 4, I don't think it's really bad, because many Canon professional lenses, expensive ones, they have f4, constant f4, so it's not that bad. In fact, I know one teacher from Santa Monica College. He was my teacher kind of for a short time, teacher of photography, and he's doing micro photography for food. He's in some national magazines for food photography. All he's using is f4, because honestly for macro photography you don't need f4. He has some like Canon Red Ring that some 24 to whatever lens, and like the latest one, and constant f4, and for food photography it works for him, so he doesn't really care about 2.8. But anyway, I just want to test this. I already see that this lens, the zoom, it means to change from like it's 18 to 55, which is equivalent like 28 to like 80, some 84, 85. So I can see the zoom. It's much easier to turn compared to 10 to 24. I have 10 to 24, and some video shots, they call them zoom in shots or zoom out shots, video shots, and I was trying to make zoom in or zoom out shots on 10 to 24 Fujinon. You cannot do zoom in zoom out shots. On this lens I think I can. It's quite easy to turn, and it's just the whole thing pretty much, you can pull the whole thing out and back. So compared to 10 to 24, this particular zoom, I think I can have very good shots. I didn't try, I will try today, but I think I can have good shots, which some people call zoom in or zoom out shots. When do you use that? Basically, sometimes people start with close-up. Say you shoot like something happen on the road. You don't need to show maybe sometimes the whole scene and what happened. Some people do opposite. They first show the tire and say somebody by the tire, and then zoom out to show the kind of bigger picture. So it's one of the ways of doing zoom in or zoom out. So sometimes zoom in, and some people might fly on a helicopter, and they have a big shot of the downtown, and then they can zoom in. Well, you need to be very careful because it's gonna shake, but some people zoom in. You can have digital zoom in too, but maybe helicopter is not the best. But there are certain places where you can zoom in without shaking. I just tell in general, just idea how they zoom in. So it's one of the ways to make your shots more complete, I guess, more varieties. And some people enjoy to try different varieties and incorporate all their shots into their movies, to have varieties of different shots, just don't have one kind of shots. You might see some producer might require you to try a few different shots, and kind of, which is abnormal, but it is normal, but in a small sense. But it's kind of, if you use constantly, it's abnormal. But anyway, what else I see? Well, first of all, my lens is I got the one made in Japan. It's made in Japan, a little harder to find, but I've seen a lot of those lenses. You can find made in China and made in Philippines. So I did not see any other ones. I only saw Chinese, Philippines, and Japanese version. And I don't know if they still do that, or they had originally a Japanese and later they changed to Philippine and Chinese. So what happened, I don't know. but I just wanted to buy Japanese. I don't care if it's older a little bit. So maybe it's the same, but it's just something like uh, just I wanted to have that way. So let me try this lens and we'll see how it's gonna be. I really like 28, which is full frame, and which is on this would be 18. That's what I have right now. This is a 28mm look, and so on this camera it would be 18. It's kind of windy. I'm not sure if my sound will be perfect, but it might have some wind things or some problem. So I'm inside of the park. I'm sitting on a bench and just kick back. I guess today is my day off. Just kick back and looking at this water. So let me just shoot here and there and edit and show to you. So this is how it looks, the water and everything in this park. Testing that for vlogging, set on 18, so that's how it looks on 18 for APS-C sensor, which is 28. That's how it looks. It should be like new iPhones That looks of new iPhone angle. So looks. Testing for close-ups. Okay, now I'm trying to test for zooming out. So zooming out test for it's a small range, it's not a big range, but still I want to see zoom out look. Now I will try zoom in shot. Again, zoom out. Zoom in shot. Well, I would say it's alright. The best would be to use follow focus probably. By hand it's kind of hard. Either follow focus or at least that rubber follow focus ring. Let me try another scenario. Now another scenario. Zoom out shot. That's it. The end. Okay, now go opposite way, zoom in. Again, zoom out. Zoom in. So what can I say? The range is not too big. I would say if you compare to zoom in, like, you know, those Canon cameras with big lens. Well, Fuji, they have like 18 to you know, those MK lenses, 18 to I think 55, 70, whatever. So it's basically that the cinema MK lens the Fuji is making is basically similar to this one. Well, I believe that would be more smooth, but if I use follow focus with this, first of all I need a big plastic, that plastic ring on the lens, and then I think it's alright. Sharpness test. If you can read. Again, sharpness test. If you can read or not. Again, sharpness test. Sharpness test. Sharpness test.